All good. Okay, sorry, give it over to Jay Star. Their next guy is new, so he's just setting up a camera there. The mic is wet. Now, usually that's my fault because I'm a sweaty motherfucker, but welcome to fall. Zach's not sweating profusely and looking like he dies anymore. That's good. Ada, I believe you got a secret note from Jake Storm. He wanted to ask me to ask you to read the note.
So good. Do you know what it says?
I don't know. I have no idea.
It's amazing.
The host is wearing fake glasses, but is wearing contact lenses. Isn't that weird?
I'm sorry, what am I, Korean? See, if you lived in Asia, you'd get that joke, but, because I did, because I need to tell everyone that I did. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Yvonne. That was a good one. I didn't think I thought it was going to be so much dirtier than that. I'm impressed by that. Okay, David, what is your story? Are you one of the Pierre Bro guys?
That's right.
So is this your first official outside of the safety net?
This is probably my sixth.
Sixth one? Okay, well, be prepared, everyone, because David's going to be better than Glenn Sloan. Give it up for David Griffin on his sixth time on stage.
All right, thank you everyone. Good evening. So I went to meet with my family doctor recently, had some questions to ask her, and she said she couldn't help it, she'd refer me to a psychiatrist. So I ended up, I know what you're thinking, how in the hell did this guy ever get a family doctor? Well, I'll tell you, it's because of my privilege. My privilege of being old. I was on a wait list while a lot of you people were still in diapers. But your time will come, don't worry. Yeah, so I met with the psychiatrist. After 2 hours, she told me 3 things. She said, I am not autistic, I do have social anxiety disorder, and I am not the father. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, social anxiety disorder basically is it's a fear of being judged negatively or being the center of attention, which I realize sounds ironic from coming from somebody who's standing on a stage in front of a bunch of people. But basically, it makes me seem aloof and come across as unfriendly. So, in a sense, it was good news because I learned that I'm not just an asshole, that I actually have a mental health condition, so yay me. I brought my family on a cruise this year, went on a Carnival cruise, brought my kids, of course. Guess it's obviously, it's not like my girlfriend and I just disappeared for a week and didn't tell anyone where we're going, and if I did that, my wife would kill me. So I was telling Jim at work, I'm bringing the family on a cruise, and he said, oh, are you going on a Disney cruise? And I said, no, I'm going on a Carnival cruise, and he got this concerned look on his face, and he said, ooh, and I thought you cared about your family. So it was at that time I came to learn that Carnival cruises have a bit of a bad reputation as a cheap booze cruise. For those of you that aren't familiar with the cruise lines, if you think of, say, a Disney cruise as like a Four Seasons hotel, a Royal Caribbean cruise is kind of like a Hilton hotel. A Carnival cruise is like a blue tarp over a shopping cart in a park downtown. So it's basically a floating flop house is what I'm saying. So picture a Walmart, but at sea and with even more drunk people. So, but we had a great time. It was fun. Kids enjoyed it. So as it turns out, the worst thing about going on a Carnival cruise is telling people you're going on a Carnival cruise. Now, the cruise ship had a lot of kids on it, and I'll tell you, some parents are just terrible. There were these teens roaming around, causing trouble, swearing, making a mess, and unfortunately, those were my kids. Now, we did eat really well on the ship. My son, he eats like he's anticipating a famine. So one day, late in the afternoon, he went down to one of the restaurants on the ship, and he ordered 2 sandwiches and a pizza at this restaurant. And I told him, we're going for dinner in a couple hours. And he looked at me and he said, okay, Boomer, I'm not mewing. This is bussin', no cap. I'm here like a true Sigma yacht. Skibidi toilet riz, Dad. Now, I immediately called for the ship doctor because I was worried my son had just had a stroke, but I quickly realized it wasn't a medical emergency. He was just talking like an idiot. Now, given how much my son eats, you might be thinking, well, he must be a fat kid, but actually, no, he's not. He's quite slim. In fact, my son is slimmer than Justin Trudeau's chances of winning the next election. Now, my career is going great. You are looking at the July 2024 Wendy's Employee of the Month. I'm kidding, I wasn't Employee of the Month. Todd's got his nose so far up the manager's butt he can smell fresh air. No, but seriously, I am an accountant. Calm down, ladies. Not to brag, but my wife likes to say I'm a freak in the spreadsheets. You could say I excel. Word.
No.
Now, I'm what you might call an extroverted accountant. So that simply means that during Zoom calls, I'll turn my camera on. Now, I became an accountant because I couldn't handle the heart-pounding excitement of being an economist, and I didn't have the outgoing personality needed to be a librarian. Now, I work a hybrid schedule, and when I first started doing this remote work, I would do this subversive thing where I wouldn't wear any pants, because on Zoom, people can only see you from the waist up, right? But I had to stop that because the manager at Starbucks threatened to phone the cops on me. Now, I just learned recently that strippers are telling people that they're accountants. And I understand that. If somebody asks you what you do and you say you're an accountant, the conversation stops right there. There are no follow-up questions. Nobody cares. And coincidentally, my mother started telling her friends that I'm a stripper. Now, I've got people coming up to me all the time and asking me, David, what does it take to become an accountant? No, I'm just kidding. Nobody ever asked me that. But I'll tell you, to be an accountant, it takes a lot of hard work, dedication, and a complete lack of imagination to think of a more interesting career. Now, you might be thinking, well, David, why do you do this boring job? And my answer to that is, I like the little luxuries in life, like food, shelter, and maybe an occasional carnival cruise for my family. Now, when my daughter was born, my wife wanted to get a minivan, but I didn't like that idea. I thought minivans are lame. So I've been driving a minivan for the last 13 years. But you know what? I've come to love it. It's comfortable, it's practical, and it's practically invisible to the police. The other day, I was doing some burnouts in front of the cops, and they proceeded to pull over a young guy in a Dodge Challenger. And I drove by, and I just rolled down the window, and I said, "Thank you for keeping the neighborhood safe." And, I had a little fun, and it's a victimless crime at the end of the day. Speaking of my neighborhood, I recently joined my neighborhood Facebook group, and wow, the hateful, vile vitriol on there was astounding. And my neighbors didn't appreciate my comments at all. So thank you, that's my time.
Giving over David Griffin, that was a fantastic. Clap loud.